Okay, here we are. We can see right here. We have a short victory. We're playing as Court of Lybaras. That is, of course, Khalida's faction. So this is using the 6.3 update. That's a beta right now. I think it's going to go live soon. It's a beta because of some hardware issues. And we've got an awful lot to cover here. We're going to cover the campaign and then as many of the Tomb King changes and upgrades as we can. Some in depth, some not. Perhaps we'll save some closer looks for some things later on. So we got a bit of a weird victory here because we've been evicted from our starting territories. You can see that we've got clan wars and we've got who's this idiot here? Oh yeah, the Bloody Hands have kicked us out. But we own essentially Nehekara and everything out to the west. Friends right now with Arkan. And we won this in 45 turns. My previous win was right after Warhammer 3 had come out. I won with Khalida after something like 90 or 100 turns. So how did this one go? It was a little bit strange, but all updates change the way the game plays. We still had to play run around this rock with the silver host. I think it was turn 7 when we defeated them. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 up here. Fortunately, Count Avold fought us at Marak. I believe we killed him there, and then we went on to take Lamia. If Marak, Count Avold decides to stay on the other side of this rock from you, it can take quite a few turns to capture him. But we took out the silver host. I developed Marak with a military building and traded it to Thorek for a treaty. And then usually what you do is you often have to worry about the lizard men. But the last offenders played terribly in this game. They never really had more than a couple of cities. So once I had secured this territory, I came through here into Nehekara and started taking out this land, taking it from Manfred and fighting whomever was out here. And then I succeeded in expanding all the way out this way, took out the Empire character here, Volkmar, and then up here to kill Rapance. And I only made peace with Arkan because it was easier than fighting him and everybody back east. Because what had happened is while I was out here, Thorek got in a war with the Bloody Hands, and so did the last defenders, and they were just torn up. They were just basically annihilated. The Bloody Hands came pouring through here. I put defensive cities here. They still walled me and tore right up this way. So I currently own, I currently own 21 settlements. You have to own 30 to get the win. So the 9 I'm missing are basically what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a couple of others that I probably traded away. But winning as the Tomb Kings, it's still a pretty good achievement, especially as Khalida, whom I believe is regarded as one of the most difficult campaigns. So the long victory would require controlling all of Nehekara and Lamia and putting up all those pyramids. If you remember from Warhammer 2, they all have these pyramids in them, right? So there's a pyramid in every one of these, and you have to build all 7 of those throughout Nehekara in here. So let's take a look at what has changed. Let's go and look at Khalida herself. She's all the way over here. So there's been a major change to the starting strength of the Tomb Kings. This building here will only build you 2 archers at level 1. Then it will build 4 at level 2 with a Tomb Guard, which is what it did before, and then it goes on to 4, 6, and 2 Tomb Guard with a Tomb Guard halberds. These 2 are the same as they always were. This has had 2 skeletons taken out. So the Tomb Kings are a little weaker at the beginning. Khalida, however, because she focuses on archery. Immuniment and swamp, corruption, poison attack. It's just her. It's not particularly grand. Dedication to a SAF, increased armor piercing, damage, and penetration for archer units. So her archers, they do have, if we can see here, missile damage. Base missile damage 17, armor piercing 5. Usually you're going to get less than that, like 1 or 2 from a standard archer. But Khalida's tech tree or personal skill tree has changed, and this is the main issue right here. This Lybaras is best. Adds 6 skeletons to her unit capacity. It reduces the ammunition from 25% for all armies faction-wide down to 20%, and that's ammunition. That's for everything, not just the archers. But she gets recruit rank 3 for skeleton archers. So you can quite early on make her some pretty effective archery armies. And you can see here I've leaned into her cavalry. But she also, as you can see here, melee attack and melee defense for sepulchral stalkers and necropolis knights. That's really the only benefit she has. It's just this sort of aura that she increases cavalry. She really doesn't. So she's still the weakest. She has no magic line. She has a combat line. She's no better than any regular combat lord. So it's just these increase to missile strength for skeleton archers and stalkers, and then these benefits to missile damage and archers. She still does get regeneration and attrition. So we're going to take a look at the hero changes to the Tomb Kings. Each of these has had a slight change to it. They've added some tech to them. If we take a look first at the Tomb Prince, in the Tomb Prince, instead of choosing one of these two that you might get, you now can get all 3 just in an order. Although I've taken this one, Prince of Dunes, instead of the Cultist Prince. He locked by skill stored dynasty. So these here locked you out of here. So you get all 3 of these rather than choosing one, and then you have this that can lock it out. I chose this one, melee defense and physical resistance, vigor loss when fighting in desert and causing terror, and here melee attack and bonus infantry. This one up here is magical. This one here increases your chariot capability, and then this one here just melee attack and charge bonus. So this is if you want him to become a charioteer, and then this one for just general strength. Other than that, all of this seems to be the same. Each of the skills has been altered a little bit though. So Cavalry Master, 12 attack, 12 defense, and then recruit rank for Horseman. There's a similar version of that for, don't know if I have one. We could probably look and see if we can recruit one. Here we go. Most of these have slight changes or additions to their skill set. Usually one additional thing has been added in. So that's something we could look at later on by going through them individually. If we go and see the other hero types, the Necrotect, you can now, of course, use this guy, of course, to increase the number of constructs through this line here. So this one here allows you to increase the casualty replenishment rate for constructs, and then that Dune Restoration, a 5% chance for a construct to be restored. That's a 1 in 20 chance that any construct simply comes back. So that's a bit of a steal off of other factions' abilities, but you know, you got to borrow where you can. Then you can increase the capacity for Sepulchral Stalkers and Necropolis Knights, and instead of picking one of these and moving on, you can get all of these. So you can add to Ashabti, you can add to Tomb Scorpions, you can add to Cavalry. Then this one here, province building benefits when you're there, and then you can pick one of these. So the Hyra Titan here, Necrosphinx here, War Sphinx here, and then once you've done that one, you can go on here to targeting range and ability for Restore, which is the construct healing ability that you get 2 of. He now has 3, so it's 24 seconds at 8%, so that's 19%, so almost 20% heal on that construct. I often take Scorpion Carver. That allows you an additional 2 scorpions. Do we have any other neck? There's another necrotect here. This is also a scorpion carver. So that did allow me to, as you can see here, build a massive scorpion army with a lord whose ability is treacherous, which adds melee defense and bonus versus infantry for tomb scorpions. So let's go take a look at this Nehekaran Lich Priest. The Lich Priests, this is the line that has changed for them. So this used to be 3 items up here, now it's 4. So first of all, you cool down to Nehekara spells with a miscast reduction. I don't really miscast or overcast with them. Lord recruit rank here and recruit rank in the Hero's Army for military. Research rate and winds of magic. And then armor and ambush chance. Now, this theme of research rate is going to become pretty common. Other than that, everything is the same, except perhaps this. Instead of 1, 2, and 3 canopic jars, it's 5, 10, and 15. We'll see why later on. So I do like to use Nehekaran magic. It's usually considered the weakest, but as soon as you get this here, every time you cast every time you cast a spell here, triggers when casting a spell, you get 1.2% heal. So if you just cast this thing here, which is only 2 each, 20 times, you're talking about 24-25% heal for the entire army. Every unit in the army gets healed when Restless Dead is activated. So there have been minor improvements to the heroes. Nothing major. They're not the greatest heroes ever, but they are better than they used to be. So if we go and take a look at a lord, they only have combat lords. So here's a regular everyday one here. They have this set of unique abilities. You can pick one of these 4. This one here, recruit rank for Tomb Princes. I've got a bit of that going. And then that's Tomb Guard and Chariots. This one here, Ushabti units benefit from that one. This one here, Casket of Souls benefits. And then finally this one here, Skeleton Archers and Sepulchral Stalkers, which are ranged units. This line here, starting at level 12, you can see better defense, missile block and armor. This one here, leadership and enables magical attacks. This one here, immune to psychology and contact. And then this one here, melee attack and melee defense for the Lord. And he'll get Okemrian War Sphinx at level 14. We can see here that Rakash already has that. Rakash is one of the dynasty lords that you can get. He's usually one of the 2 that I often get. He's down here leading this army. If we go zoom in on him, these 2 basically came down here and started tearing through the Bloody Hands material. So not much of a change to the lords. So the units themselves, there's almost no change to any of the units. They are still mid to low grade units. Their only real benefit being that they're cheap. I can currently have 5 armies. I've got this army, which is a good one, this army, which is a good one, this one, which is going to be recruited full of trash, although next turn I will be able to get my first Sphinx. Then we've got Khalida, and finally this Ushabti and Spearman army that's coming here. So even 45 turns in, I'm still recruiting these mid-tier units. I mean, Ushabti are not particularly great. So the benefit to Tomb Kings is getting a lot of armies, which is now a little bit easier than it used to be. But the units are still, they're pretty trash still. The books, I thought they were going to do something about that, making them easier to get. I mean, there's nothing up here and nothing out here, but there's still no reason to go chasing these things down. And the books themselves, the Dune Restoration is nice, Construct, hit points and resurrection afterwards, but none of this is really worth chasing the books down for. Capacity for the heroes, so this one, research rate and 50 jars, that used to be, would have been what, 10 jars before. This one gives you 1,500 jars, which is nice. I mean, there's just, I'm not going to chase around the battle map looking for these things. The books have never really been that impressive. That was a nice one if you could get it nearby, because early on you could get an army. But I don't think the books are particularly useful. You have to own a city. I have a military allegiance with Thorek, but I don't get this book. Now, Thorek will get the parts to his crafted items if he has a military alliance with you, but you have to actually own the city in order to get it, and I don't think that's particularly grand. So what are decrees? Decrees are now a way to spend your jars. You can see I have a surfeit of jars. It's not really any way for me to spend them quickly enough. So you can now use them on little decrees here, just like the Dark Elves have, just like Kislev has. So this one, control research rate for 5 turns, no increase in corruption. This one down here, 5 turns, a garrison sally, just like Kislev and local recruitment. This perhaps the best one. You can spend 500 jars to get 1,500 gold, and then you can do it every turn because it only takes 1 turn for that. You can see here I pulled in 238 jars. So if you're fighting battles, you can get quite a bit. The characters, once you get the characters all with 15 each, that can snowball pretty quickly too. But the decrees are just another way to spend the money. What we really want to look at is the tech tree. Because now everything in the tech tree, see 250, 500, 500, 250, everything is jars. These don't take 1 turn anymore, they take 2. These usually take 3. They're 4 right now. Maybe they're always 4. Your research rate is a lot easier to maintain because when you get a dynasty, you lose 20 research rate, not 30. And each of the dynasties that gets you another army also comes with a secondary effect. I go for Rakash first because he's got 15 growth right there. And then down here, the 4th, is that the 4th? Where's the other one? Yeah, I only realized this one is control halfway through the battle. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional armies here. At 9 turns each, you're looking about at 50 turns to get 6 armies if that's all you do is go for the armies. There's another benefit. If you get all 6 of the dynasties, this one gives you another 2 armies. So once you have those 6 on turn 50 or so, 55, you get another 2. So 8 armies added to your original. It's 9 armies. And through the mortuary cult, you can buy armies. I bought my first one, I think was 10,500 jars or something. Now it's 15,000 and 1,200 jars. So I just need the money. I could cash that in pretty easily right now, right? I just need 1,000. I could get another army. The problem again being I don't have units. I would just have to have armies of trash. And you can get very nice addition to your hero pool here. So let's go back to the tech tree. So you're going to start by clicking one of these. I usually do this fella here. Add to an army, get growth. I unlock Rakash, who costs 500 jars. Because he adds control in all provinces and income from all buildings faction-wide. I'm not in a rush usually to get the other leaders from these because once you start getting your regular leaders levels increased on recruitment, these guys fall behind because they're always level 1 when you recruit them, as far as I can tell. At the base of each of these, there's also a new tech. The one I'm looking forward to getting, is the one in here for skeletons or is it below? I thought there was one for skeletons. Oh no, scorpions. Perfect vigor for tomb scorpions. This one here for, how many bone giants are you going to have? And then this one here for regular infantry recruit rank. And then there's a proclamation for each, and then there's a patronage for each, which adds. So the proclamations we had before, this is campaign movement and construction cost plus an additional Ushabti during battle. This one is construction cost and post-battle loot, and now this one here, capacity for some units. So this you can just, once you get in here, you can poke around and see what it is you think would add to your play style. These guys are all 250 jars now. There's no 100 jars, 1,000 gold, 2,500 gold. No matter which, depending on which of the dynasties you're in, they're all 250 jars every time. So you can see I got plenty of this to spend on. I'm delayed by the number of turns it takes to spend it again. So I'll probably start spending it, if I was to play on, I would probably start spending it on this. So for example, if I do this now, all right, I got 15,000, and then I can go into the cult and I can buy another army. There we go. And then in here, oops, I could come in here and I can recruit another army. Although I've done one here already this turn, I guess, so I would have to do it up there. Okay, and so now I've got level 5 lords because of bonuses. So there is a growth effect, there is a snowball effect. I think this portion of the game is where it shows that growing the Tomb King cities is still lagging behind. Now, granted, I got Lamia trashed, so it's hard to tell what's going on. But my best cities were when I took El Haik, it was level 5, so when I took it, it went to 4, and it had this cavalry building in it. The Black Tower of Arkan, I didn't take over very powerful. The best cities I got were those that I took over, and they were already relatively built up. Kasabar is really good because of this building's ability to recruit 1 turn for all units. So you can recruit Ushabti in this area in 1 turn. You can get high-level cavalry in this area in 1 turn. So as Tomb Kings, you definitely want to take over Kasabar, which you're probably going to do. Now, the Confederation is still a weak mechanic for Tomb Kings, unlike most factions where you can get all the lords or lots of lords together. As Khalida, for example, you can only confederate Katep. You can do it through here. Confederates Katep is added to your pool, so 50,000 gold and 2,500 jars. Now, I think I read somewhere that if you conquer a leader of another faction, you can take them over. That was not possible for me with Khemri because Setra got killed. And over here you can see Arkan is there. He only just came back. So when I was down here not trying to get killed by these guys, he wasn't around for me to defeat, or at least to put that to the test. So, also I could, if I trade him Kofar, I realized I can actually vassalize him. So, I mean, at least that's a possibility. What did I think of the campaign? I enjoyed it. I always enjoy playing Khalida. When I was sending all my armies through here, I had every expectation that when the Bloody Hands attacked, that they would be held off by their usual foes. But what had weakened the last offenders was that they got in a fight with Thorek. So in this particular campaign, these two were fighting each other, which weakened them both. And now, I'm stuck having to come back and regain this territory. But I definitely did enjoy this one. I will probably play it again. I'm currently playing a Katep campaign, and I'm also playing a Last Defenders campaign. Looking forward to talking about the Lizardmen. They have had some nice changes, but the geomantic web is still terrible. So if you're not a fan of the Tomb Kings, I don't know that this one will necessarily change your mind. They've borrowed mechanics and technology from other factions. There's nothing really unique to them anymore now that the canopic jars are a combat resource, just like arcane assays or the plans that you get as known. But if you like their aesthetic and you like their build and their style and their play before, they have been improved. I think it's easier to play them than it was, but they are definitely not on a par with the newer, more powerful factions. I mean, I'm glad that I never got in a fight with Khorne. There's no way with just spearmen I could hold off bloodletters and whatever else he has. So you're going to have to play them as a very cagey faction, as an underdog faction. And Khalida, absolutely, definitely still one of the more complex and difficult factions, because the starting position is weak. And what we're going to see when we do the Last Defenders is, once you have this area as her, you've got this horrible enemy here, this horrible enemy here to face. So it just doesn't necessarily get any easier. But I'm very gratified and happy with a 45 turn win. I just wish I'd played it better to have more of a likelihood that I'd want to continue to this long victory.